everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. My name is Mod Toussaint Como and this is a mod thing. Today we have another perfume video. So for those of you who've been like, what's going on with all your fragrances? I've been keeping up. I've been doing a self re-evaluation of my fragrance collection. When I first studied, and people were talking bad about decluttering videos, thinking, oh, people come and talk about the fragrance and then they want to get rid of it. That means they were not sincere. I don't really think it's the case for me. In my case, it's really, if I declutter, it's an act of courage, and it's probably the case for many people. Because when you start collecting fragrances, in the beginning, you're influenced by everything you hear. You're making choices that are not necessarily the best choices for you. There's nothing about the fragrances or the particular fragrance. It's just so that when you get to look at all the fragrances you have and you find yourself really not reaching out for some, and even if you try to wear them, when you wear them, you are not as happy as other ones that you may be wearing that works better for you. After a while, you decide, okay, it's time to only have around things that you really treasure, someone else who treasure the ones that you're not enjoying as much could benefit much more. It's a better solution. So in this spirit, I have a number of fragrances that I am hoping to declutter. If someone is interested in them, I'll leave my contact so that they can contact me and say that they are interested in it. In terms of pricing, clearly I think maybe shipping, and then I'll probably look into the web, the internet, and look at the lowest price that any of those things offer and really give like a good 50% of the lowest price. So, or like, depending on the fragrance, between 30 and 50% off the lowest price. Ideally, if there are some you want in bundles, because there are some houses that I have several of them from the same house. So sometimes when you collect, you want several fragrances from the same house or from the same designer. Might be a way for you to bundle up the stuff that you are interested in. But anyway, without any further ado, let me show you the fragrances that I am hoping to declutter and maybe tell you a little bit about each of them. Here we are. We have those two Pinrose. Pinrose is kind of a very nice house, right? The stuff are very simple, and they put the ingredients of the fragrance, like you can see nectarine, plum, tonka beans. And those fragrances, I purchased them early on because they were nice layer fragrance. This one is fig, jasmine, and moss. I have those two Pinrose that I feel that ultimately I'm not really using them. I'm not layering them. And part of it is because I don't know enough about layering. They are up for grab to those who might be interested in them. And then I have those Rihanna that this is nude and this is rogue. This is a very nice leather of kind of suede fragrance that really doesn't feel like a celebrity fragrance. But since I'm not too much a leather person, I think I would not mind declutter it. And nude It's nice. It's a great fragrance to just kind of go to the gym with and things like that. I can get rid of it for sure. Versace Red Jeans Woman. That's really a classic. That's really fresh and nice. I think it's still a very relevant fragrance. When I have worn it, I have enjoyed it. I have not reached out for it. And then I have this Jessica Parker New York Crush. I got it because it had a nice coconut, but it has a vanilla, and I have come to realize that I don't really enjoy wearing vanilla personally, but it's the most popular scent family in terms of what people like. So if someone likes a coconut vanilla, I think that's a very nice and sweet fragrance. That's nice. And then there is the Stash. I've heard a lot about the Stash, so I had thought of getting this one, but this one is like a Stash Privé. It's a little bit sweeter for my taste. And then this is an Elizabeth and James, the white one, Nirvana white. When I first bought it, Elizabeth and James fragrances were really popular, and I was pleasantly surprised to see I really enjoyed this one. It's a nice fresh fragrance, but I have not been reaching out to it. Same situation for Ralph Lauren. I find it's a very classy, beautiful fragrance that is nice, that is a little bit spicy, and it's an all seasoned fragrance. But if someone is interested, I think they may enjoy it more than I do right now. I've been reaching out more for some of my Chanel instead of this one. And Dolce & Gabbana, the only one, it's a nice fragrance, but again, for my taste, it has a vanilla and a bit of sweetness. And I find like I can do without that family of scent, just because I don't enjoy that as much on me. And then this fragrance right here is sort of an iris, fresh fragrance. It's just really nice, clean, and fresh. But I'm not a big iris type of person. But it's nicely soapy and everything. It's up for grab. Next row, we have Aura Mugler. And this is the Parfum Sensuel. I was never able to do the original. I think the Parfum Sensuel is kind of a nice fragrance, but I have not been reaching out for it. I love Atelier Cologne. And this one is a vanilla incense. So the vanilla is nice because it is accompanied with an incense, but then again, it's a vanilla fragrance. I find that I don't reach out for it. This one, it's Tokyo Milk, and it's Savage Belle. Got it, I only maybe wore it. I barely really sprayed it just to try it. But it has a charcoal note that makes it interesting. So it has warm ginger, and I love ginger. It has bergamot and a charcoal accord, and then wisteria. It's a nicely exotic type of fragrance, but again, I find that I'm not really reaching out for it. So there's those two micro cores. Somehow, I think I had heard a review of the Brilliant Gold, so when I saw it, I bought it, but seriously, I've never even opened it. And I don't think I'm going to be opening it. The Micro Core Turquoise, I don't even see it anymore. It's discontinued. So it's a nice aquatic fragrance. I did enjoy wearing it during a vacation by the ocean. But since I've had other aquatic fragrances, this one is a flow aquatic. I could get rid of this one aquatic. This one, the bottle is amazing. Seriously, it was one of the first fragrances I purchased because a lot of people were talking about it. Jeremy fragrance and everything. So it's Marc Jacob Decadence, but it has a prominent plum note in it, which I've come to find out is not the greatest note that works, that I like, but it is a nice smoky plum fragrance that's extremely long lasting, extremely, how would I say that, potent, with a big sillage. I think someone who likes it can do really well going out at night, etc. with Marc Jacob Decadence. Is this one, which is a classic French fragrance, Bamboo Whale. Someone is interested in that, they might enjoy it at this point more than I do. And then I have those Hervé Laurent. They were pretty expensive fragrances. I mean, believe it or not, they were like $250. I purchased one and I was gifted two of them. So if someone wanted to experience this as a bundle, I could, and experience this brand that is not very known, they could definitely contact me about this. But one is called Solange, and the other one is called Masako. Other one is called Bonheur. You can of course see my review of those fragrances because I've done a review of them in one of my YouTube videos, so I'll link that video so that you can hear more about those fragrances. I have Amazing Grace Jasmine. It's a floral jasmine fragrance, vanilla. And this one is Walk on Air. It's kind of a white floral also. It's by Kate Spade. It's a very nice fresh fragrance. It's going to be nice for spring. Be Balenciaga. You barely see this fragrance anymore. It was sort of meant to be this modern linear take, just like some of the Balenciaga dresses. I liked it in the beginning when I purchased it, but I've not really been able to get into it. This is Elisa Bleu Parfum. It's a beautiful, nice rose, and it's rose couture. That's the rose couture flanker. What can I say? It's a nice summer, spring, wedding type of fragrance. But I have a number of other rose fragrances, and it become redundant. This one is used quite a bit, but believe it or not, I bought it that way. I bought it used like that. So it doesn't have a lot in it, but the bottle is amazing. Actually, it does, because I have one and it's called Shanghai Tang Oriental Pearl. I think it's a heavy patchouli. Yeah, it's a heavy patchouli fragrance. The bottle is amazing. Some people may say, what you doing? But yes, Dior Addict, the original, I would not mind decluttering because I really don't reach out for it, just because it has this extremely beautiful vanilla, but then again, it's just a little bit too sweet and too vanillic for me. So I know it's a very popular fragrance. People really love it. And when I've worn it, people have loved it on me, except that I just don't reach out for it. Burberry Breathe for Her. Remind me a little bit of Flower Bomb. It's nice and fresh and beautiful. Really got it. TJ Maxx. I could do without it because it's a little bit redundant with some of the stuff I have, like Flower Bomb. Now on to a little bit more luxurious type of house fragrances. I'm willing to declutter some of my Tiziana Terenzis. I have a number of Tiziana Terenzi. So I have a number of them, but these, I think that I wouldn't mind sort of decluttering. I bought all of these full price from Avant-Garde. This one is Cabiria, and it's an amazing fruit fragrance. It's very complex, has a lot of stuff in it. Going to be a good fragrance for them. I'd also could declutter my Caput Mundi because it's a rose oud fragrance. The fact is, I'm not a big oud person. I just have to come to that realization. That's why I'm wanting to declutter it. And this one is White Fire. It's like a nice clean fragrance that has a snow type of accord in it, and then it's centered around jasmine also. So it's a nice clean and soapy fragrance, but I'm kind of not a big jasmine person, I've come to realize. So if someone is interested in adding those 3 beauties by Tiziana Terenzi in their collection, I think it would be very good. What else? I have Rose on Ice by Kilian. So it has this cucumber note that you either have to take it or leave it. That's all I can say. In the beginning, the cucumber can shock you, but ultimately it develops into a nice fragrance. But somehow I just don't want to go through the beginning. If you are into a cucumber note and you've heard of this and you like it, I think it would be, for some people, they would like. And then I have Bulgari, Le Gem. Now I have several other ones from these, but I find that those 2, Lazulia, which is centered around a jasmine accord, and then the Viridia, which is sort of a green fragrance, I could declutter. And part of it is because they're so big. I should show you the bottle. They're so big, and I'm like, and they're very potent fragrance, and I'm like, I'm never going to finish these things. You know, if a fragrance is light and easy, you can overspray it and hope to finish it. But when you have a heavy duty, bit loud of a fragrance, and you have many fragrances, you start thinking twice about whether you love the fragrance. So out of the several I have from Le Gem, I think that I could declutter those 2. One is Lazulia and one is Viridia. Again, I had a review of them to tell you what they're about. I'll link that. I actually also have a review of all those Tiziana Terenzis. I'll link that. I have a review of Rose on Ice by Kilian. I'll also link that. Last but not least, for this first declutter, I may have other ones. I may have other declutter fragrances, but I want to give them another chance and experience them for a whole week before I really make sure that I want to declutter them. And then I also would want to show you my leaner and meaner fragrance and just create my content around stuff that I'm really passionate about. So last but not least is the Commodity Mimosa. It's a nice fresh fragrance that has sheer jasmine, blood orange, mandarin. So that tells you clearly that it's a nice, very fresh fragrance. But I think because of the jasmine, I have a video on jasmine, somehow it's not, I can declutter it. Here they are. So if you see any, take note. If you see any that you are interested in, please contact me in my email or DM me on Instagram. So my email is toussaintmod1@gmail.com. toussaintmod1, one word, @gmail.com. And then you can also always DM me on Instagram. My name on Instagram is Maud Como. So you just DM me on that. And then we can sort of arrange for you to get very, very promptly any of these should you be interested. Okay? So that was it for my first declutter, an act of courage, but of no reservation, because I feel I'm more mature and more purposeful about fragrances and what works for me and what I want to acquire, that I feel I want to be enthusiastic enough to just share with you my opinion on new stuff. Okay, just like everything else in life, sometimes things you let go and with no regrets whatsoever. That's when you know you mature. Like, I've always been scared to let go of stuff because I know, oh, I may need it, I may regret. I just don't think that once we get rid of something, no return. Well, we can, in the case of fragrance, we can purchase it, but right now, no regret. I hope that you would find some that you like. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time, bye.